Right, so we're doing the wash process, and excuse the echo, much to the, I guess, boss not liking this. I use the kids' bath. So there's just a little bit of cold power, just a mild laundry detergent in what is very hot water. And I'm going to just lay the fleece in with the locks up. Just let it push down. It's really hot. Now, once we start the wash, we don't want to agitate the fleece. I'm just using the heat to get out the lanolin and the dirt. So to start with, I'm going to go locks up for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to flip it over and go locks down. And then that will be our first wash process. I don't want to agitate it because it'll cause felting. We're just going to let it have a good soak. All right, so you can see our first rinse is complete. I did 10 minutes with the locks facing up and now 10 minutes with the locks facing down. It's just a little bit of standard laundry detergent in there. You can use a wool scour, anything you like. I don't. I find just the hot water and a little bit of soap's enough. So we're going to empty this one out, and then we're going to fill it up and let it sit again for about 20 minutes in a second rinse. All right, so that's our second hot water rinse. We're going to empty that one out. It's starting to get a little bit cleaner, and the next one we're going to do something just a slightly warm water, and I'm actually going to throw a little bit of conditioner, maybe a couple of squirts, what you would use to wash your normal hair. Just swish that around the water before I put the fleece back in. I'm going to let that sit for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to put a cup of vinegar, a cup of white cooking vinegar into the water, just to try and help balance out that alkaline state. All right, so I'll empty this one, and we'll do the next one. All right, so we've done our third rinse. This is just warm water, put a little bit of normal hair conditioner in it, gave it a bit of a swirl around, and then right at the end I just put about a cup of white vinegar, gave that a swirl around. I'm going to empty it now. The water's starting to almost be fairly clean, and we're going to take it over and give it its last rinse with some cold water and the hose. Right, so I've moved outside and up the excuse that we went through our 3 different drying, rinsing procedures inside, and I'm going to have to hold the camera, excuse me, and then I'm just going to go into my final rinse. Now, we're on tank water here on the farm, so I'm just going to give the rug a really good soaking. I've got it lock side down, and it's just on a bit of wire frame. So I'm just going to work my way around, give it a really good rinse, try and get out all that soap that we used as much as I possibly can. So I'll keep doing this, and then we're just going to leave it outside for probably a couple of days, and then during those days I'll flip the fleece. I'll flip the fleece up. I'll try and pick any locks, and then I'll let it dry in the indirect sunlight is what I like. So not nice warm part of the day, and then not right in the sun. All right, I'll keep doing this, and then we'll get stuck into the next section. All right. Hi, welcome back. So the fleece has been out, drying on the rack now for a couple of days, and it's pretty dry. What we're going to look at next, our locks are pretty good. is where our hook tool comes in handy. I'm going to spend some time just going down into the fleece, parting some of the locks, and I can use the hook tool. Two different things I can do with it. I can use it to pick out vegetable matter, and I can find a section where the locks are there, but they might be a little bit stuck down. So I can find a lock. I try not to tease it too much. Just want to get as much of a lock as I can. I have a little look to see where the base is and where the end is. And generally, the end's a bit darker. So I can grab the lock, use my tool, and then just gently bring it up. If you get too aggressive with it, you'll end up just getting lots and lots of flyaways. So again, just find a lock that's sitting down a bit, find its end, and bring it up. I've got a few of them here. And there we go, and then we end up getting that lock up off the felt where it's felted together. Or they generally just bind with other locks. So a lot of them, they don't need a lot of force. It's just a matter of bringing them up to give your rug a better appearance. So what I'll do is I'll just change the camera angle, and I'll just bring it over and I'll show you what I'm doing. Alright, so I've changed the camera over and we've got our hook tool, and what I'm looking through is I'm just looking in the fleece, taking out any vegetable matter, and when I'm finding a lock that's tips felted down, just gently lift the tip of that lock, and I've got to be careful not to go too hard, I suppose. We want to keep the lock shape, and if we get too rough, we'll end up just having this really teased look, and we'll get lots of flyaways. A lot of the guard hairs will separate. But we can go over and basically just preen this entire fleece, getting those locks up as best we can. It'll make it a much more fuller looking rug. Now generally your tips are going to be darker, and it's the thinner end. So when we find the base, we can just lift it up like so. There's a bit of a bare patch there, but just separate down, make sure as many of our nice locks are up as we can. Often the locks will just felt to themselves, or they'll felt to their neighbour. But if we find the lock end, the end of the lock, we can just pull them up. So I'll continue working over this for a little bit and try and get anything that might be stuck down, try and lift it up, just so we get a much better looking rug. And we can, just like here, just tease out any vegetable matter that might be stuck down the bottom there. That looks like a bit of pine tree. And we'll get his mate out. Alright, get that out. Get a nice lock here. We'll just find the end and bring him up. Don't want it to go to waste. Alright, so I'll keep working my way over, all over, and make sure I get as many up and make this rug as full looking as possible. Like so. Right, so the next part of the process that I'll look at is how to maybe, I guess, fix some bits. If there's some little patches that didn't quite felt down properly, we'll do a little bit of needle felting and try and get them squared away so we get a better result. All right, so I'll keep doing this and I'll show you what it looks like once I'm done, and then we'll get into the next section if I find any bits that didn't felt down so well.